You're with Najma Khota on News and Views live on Salam Media. I am so pleased to welcome our very special guest this morning, Brother Munier Parker, who is the director and producer at XCon Films. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, Brother Munier. Welcome to the
Walaikum,
program.
walaikum salam, Najma. How are you?
I am well, Alhamdulillah, and I hope you and your family are all good.
Yes, we are. Alhamdulillah.
Great. I have so many questions for you because you are a writer, producer, director, and also the fact that you've from the very bottom to the very top in the world of film and television. And it's not very often that we see this kind of expertise and talent in South Africa from a person of color. I think it's a thing of the past now, but still it stands out as something important to be noted. And that is why I wanted to have you on the program. Uh, what can you tell us about from the bottom to the top?
Well, the journey has been very long and rewarding. I'm one of very few people who get to live my dream. As a young boy attending what was then known as the Alabama Bioscope, in
Hmm.
Cape Town, where you paid like 25 cents to watch three movies. I always
Hmm.
dreamed of movies and either being an actor in it, But
Hmm.
growing up at that time in South Africa, it was a dream. It was such a far-fetched
Correct.
dream, you know. And then 1994 came about, democracy and all of those kinds of things. But just a little bit earlier, I because of my writing in high school, one of my teachers encouraged me to do writing, Mr. Sadiq Uji. So there's always this value of having good teachers in your life. And he hounded me. And after I matriculated, the high school did a play called Tiki Fani Burka with
Hmm.
Zulfa Otto Salis. And I was involved in it, and I got to write on it, and I helped direct the play. In fact, the book has now become a set work book for
Okay.
Afrikaans in schools, and there's a lot of my life in that book, in the stories. When Zulfa wrote it originally, it had a sort of, I mean, there was a story, but when she met all of us that were in or that helped out with the play, there were other aspects that were added into it, and a lot of it comes out of our own life. So through Zulfa, I entered the world of theater and drama, and from there in 1994, we were at the conference, and I was able to, and we there was a film and video school, video production, a community video production school who had a course running the next year, and I got to be part of that. And that's how it all started for me. I attended a 3 month video production course at the Community Video Education Trust, called CAVET, and I from there we've just been fortunate.
In terms of producing Islamic content in mainstream media, has that been a challenge for you?
Sorry, I don't know. There's a call coming through. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, you just blanked
Sorry.
out your screen when you answered that. So we thought we lost you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what can you tell us about producing Islamic content?
So I was very fortunate again. Since about 1998, I started doing documentaries. The SABC religious department put out a call for a documentary on Eid, and I did a documentary on Eid, and thereafter on music in Islam. And then since then, I've been producing content mostly for the SABC on Islam. Post 1994, and I guess during democracy. So far, I've collected the greatest library on visual content of Muslims in South Africa. I've done 15 seasons of the TV show Under the Light for
Hmm.
the SABC. We've done numerous has allowed me to travel all around the world with this, and South Africa, to meet communities and to
Unfortunately, we lose you every time you cutting your call there. So uh, it's disturbing our our
Yeah.
connection. Yeah, you were saying that you've met different communities throughout the country as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And yeah,
so
it's been an incredible journey, I think.
indeed, and in terms of reaching an audience, are you reaching Muslim audiences, of course, but have you noticed, diversity in your audience as such?
Yes, most definitely. Also with the SABC, we have certain what's his name to fulfill, demographics to fulfill. So we found that a lot of our audience are not just Muslim, and in fact, over the years, we've received emails, phone calls, all kinds of things of people who have been watching the show, who have who've embraced Islam
Oh,
because of the show. Um, sorry. Sorry, I've just been recovering from a cold. Um,
okay.
yeah. So I mean, we've had people who have embraced Islam, who people who have been very interested in Islam, so, very often asking questions around it and stuff like that. So our audience has been quite diverse. The SABC has certain demographics that you have to cater to, although the show is aimed mostly at the Muslim audience. But we have to look at like our LSMs and those kinds of things. And it is, I mean, we've also been moved across every channel. Every channel has their own demographics. SABC 1 is a youthful audience. SABC 2 is more like a Sutu speaking Nguni language audience, whereas SABC 3 is an English speaking audience, more affluent and stuff like that. So our programming also has to mirror the audience of the channel that we are on.
So, what inspires your content?
Well, I have a team generally that I work with of researchers and stuff like that, and we look at so every year when we do the show, we find a theme of what we're wanting to do, and then we go away for a couple of days and we look at and we literally sit and plot out what we are looking at, what is the type of content we are going to do. So we do a lot of the time we do profiles. The show has changed a lot over the years from what it
Hmm.
started out. But our core is to celebrate the South African Muslim, their experiences, and also to look at issues and challenges that they face living in South Africa. We are very fortunate as a Muslim community in South Africa to live in a country with with a constitution that allows us to practice so freely.
Right. And in terms of any resistance, have you had any of that?
Resistance?
Or, yeah, regarding Islamic content from your viewers, there's also that Islamophobic notion out there. So, do you have any of that?
I think, I mean, if we look at our social media and, there are certain comments from people here and there, sometimes the resistance mostly comes out of our own community as well, in certain schools of thought about having a woman on air or, allowing women to speak or those kinds of things. But more often than not, no. I mean, our show has generally um, really had a good run, good support, and people have enjoyed it.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much for making the time for us this morning. I know you're rushing out to another meeting, so we're not going to keep you much longer. We hope to chat to you soon and we wish you all the best in your career. And I'm so pleased to hear that you're living your dream.
Shukran so much, Najma.
Continue to do that and continue to provide us with the wonderful content that you've been giving us all these years. Thank you and all
Inshallah.
the best.
Okay,
Inshallah. I
all
mean,
right.
okay then.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. That was Munier Parker, the director and producer of XCon Films. And if you've watched Anur on television, he is the producer of Anur the Light on SABC. So next up, we speak to Ashraf Patel, who is a researcher, and we'll be paying tribute to John Pilger.